That's where South
Glendora, right?
Glendora Avenue.
Glendora.
Yeah.
That's where they're going.
That's where they're going.
Really? So,
To the drive-thru?
yeah. I mean, I didn't know that they closed it down.
Yeah. It's out. This year? You're moving?
I don't know who was in the office.
No, he's saying that.
My office?
Yes,
Okay.
and all of the info is in a
What's your report?
Oh, thank you. Okay. Yeah, I meant to come by earlier, but
Got it.
I got pulled away by my family.
Annoying phone call.
I'll stop. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, so
Because I know it's tomorrow.
yeah, I'll pick it up right now. Yeah, thank you. Wednesdays are well Wednesdays.
Okay, we're back in session. Manny Carrillo, did you want to share something?
In conflict with.
Oh, you did?
We usually get together between 4:30.
I'm just kidding. All right, so let's go ahead to who's up first?
John's going to give us a short presentation. Tonight we need a decision about whether we put in a roundabout at
Oh
Main
my
and
God,
Olive.
no.
The option would be to some sort of decorative traffic signal, and we'll show you a couple pictures of those.
Okay,
So we have a very short
yeah,
presentation.
let's make it short because we're gonna run out of
Okay.
time. Oh Lord.
I like the roundabout. I like the roundabout.
Good.
Oh no, it's our fault.
You like
Go ahead. Let's fire it
Is
up.
that for me and Olive?
All right, go ahead.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Member of City Council. I would like to present before you a brief presentation on City's Main Avenue Complete Street and seek your advice on and directions to the proposed roundabout. Here's a comparison of the roundabout to a traditional signalized intersection. The roundabout has 8 vehicle conflict points versus 32 vehicle conflict points in a traditional signalized intersection, and has 8 pedestrian conflict points versus 24 pedestrian conflict points in a traditional signalized intersection. Many cities are starting to incorporate roundabout in the downtown and complete street to reduce traffic and to enhance and slow speeds, as well as reduce the conflict points. Main Avenue Complete Street was the first complete street in the city, and Phase 1 was completed in October 2018. Staff is working on completing the plans for the second phase from Los Angeles to Air Highway, and getting ready to bid. This phase includes the proposed roundabout at Main and Olive, and the estimated construction cost for the proposed roundabout is about $850, and it's all from grant funds.
850,000 for just one?
Correct.
Could that money be used for street improvement?
Yes. Absolutely. Another alternate option is to go with traditional signalized intersection, and we can go with the decorative traffic signal lights at the intersection of Main and Olive, and we can do decorative crosswalks and ADA. With this option, the estimated construction cost for the traffic signal lights and the crosswalks would be $600,000, and it's also from grant funds.
And if you do this option, we'll bring back the final details to select the pavement colors, the pavers, and the decorative.
Now, where's this proposed at? Main Avenue?
Main and Olive.
Will it also
Oh.
have the audio
Yes.
for the
Yes.
crosslight? Okay.
On the square, okay.
So with that, we would like to seek your direction of
Well,
the roundabout option versus
the runabout I mean, is that what they call a roundabout?
Roundabout.
Oh, roundabout.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't. You guys, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you want to slow traffic down in that area because I think that the actual the main project that turned out to be pretty good, even though people are opposing it, but it's really damn good. But to have a roundabout there, I don't know about that.
I'll tell you, roundabouts are beautiful. I've used them in Mexico and in Europe.
Uh-huh.
They're scary.
Yeah.
Because if you're not used to using a roundabout, you're not going to know when to turn. It takes a while to get used to. And I know because I've driven in those type of areas. And it is scary if you don't know how to drive in those type of situations. So I don't know.
And that's one of the downsides, is they're very new to
They look
this
beautiful.
area,
But not just
and
that.
drivers are
It
not
just
used
seems
to
like that particular intersection is not super large.
enough.
Right, exactly. So I would prefer if we put some decorative. That looks nice,
Yeah.
right?
But
some
more
decorative-
plants and bushes.
So in regards to the roundabout, I mean, I understand this particular corner, but just in general, can we continue to look at roundabouts? Because again, for the safety aspects of what roundabouts do, they actually do reduce collisions and speeds among those areas. City of Long Beach has numerous roundabouts, not only in their major corridors, but also in the residential areas. Glendora has them. I know this by heart because I pass by them every Saturday morning through there, and they actually do work for this.
And like I said, it gets you getting used to it. It is.
And that's fine.
It takes a while to get used
Change
to
is the
that.
hardest thing for anyone to ever do.
They look very nice.
Right.
It adds a lot of.
So my only question would be is if we could look at it at a strategic level as to which are the areas citywide, not just this area, but citywide as to what makes sense to be able to put traffic mitigation to slow down traffic.
Absolutely.
I mean,
So
Oh yeah.
so the roundabout came with a price tag of about $850,000,
Correct.
and then this one comes with about $650,000. So would there be a couple of $100,000 for street improvements
Yes.
on Olive?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it will be, this project will be on Main,
Uh-huh.
and it's from Los Angeles to Air Highway. Currently, we're paving Olive all the way to Peeling in this fiscal year doing this project.
will you be able to extend the bike lane that's on Main?
Yes, absolutely.
With
Part of this.
Part of this.
Part of this?
Okay, if there's no other questions, we'll move ahead with the decorative traffic signal.
Yes.
What I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think that would be best. However, as Monica said, if we could allocate some of those funds to maybe clean up those streets, would be nice. I mean, reslur, whatever the case is.
Because the streets are Olive between Main and let's say like as far as Merced or even Center, it's disintegrating. Yeah. So Shannon, you saw that side of Olive.
Also going towards Sousa Canyon Road. I mean, either going in both
And
directions.
that's where he's saying like it is already on the calendar to go to Phelan. So that's good. But then if we look at the opposite side of Main,
Main
Right. Both.
to
Yeah.
Merced.
Towards
Main to
towards
Merced.
Olive School.
Yeah, or even as far to Center, but definitely to Merced. The street is disintegrating. Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. All right, let's go on to the next one. We're short on time here, so we're gonna have to make this. Where's Steve at? Oh,
Right
Steve, let's come up here, Steve.
Sounds good. Did you want to pass these on? Sure. Thank you, Shannon. Good. Should I stand, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, hey, whatever you wanna do, that's fine.
Great. Thank
Have a
you,
seat, no problem.
Mayor Lozano, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, good to see you, and council members. So I'm going to be brief, by the way. I'm going to start with a document that's grants funded. Across the top it says City of Baldwin Park report as of April 30th, 2019. It's a 10-page document. That's the document I'm going to walk us through this evening, and then at the very end I'll conclude with the document the CEO just passed out, the numbers. Let me start by saying thank you to the CEO. He and his team are fantastic to work with. Manny's here. John is here. We work with them virtually on a daily basis. The staff in Baldwin Park is exceptional. And we work with a lot of cities, so we don't say that lightly. We have a very, very talented staff. The grants funded, which starts on page 1, the very first one is Los Angeles County Competitive Excess Funds for $200,000. I'm not going to go through every single one of them because that'll take me a significant amount of time, but there are 13 of them. And the detail of each of those 13 is in this 10-page packet. The total of grants funded needs to be corrected. It says $1,158,679. It's actually a little bit higher than that, which is good news. It's $1,261,089, and that's reflected on this document, which is the by the numbers, where it says $1,261,089, and the 13 awards are listed at the bottom. So if you look at the by the numbers, it'll show each of the 13 awards. One award was left off of this report, so the number's actually higher. We're also working on compliance, reimbursement, and post-award compliance. We do a lot of compliance for the city, reimbursement, post-award compliance. We work very closely with Manny, and he actually offered to say a few words about that this evening in the work we do, but I know we're very short on time. But the 13 awards are listed in detail here, and we've had tremendous success, as you can see, working with the city.
Steve, if I want to say one thing,
Sure.
I'm just picking this out like this. Is the Caltrans Systemic Safety Analysis Report Program, and that's $134,000. But that's a grant that I know, especially through Public Works and Engineer, has been able to leverage because that did a study of the collisions and the injury rates in there, and allowing the city to document and put the data and doing the community engagement that allows us to pursue and be competitive for other grants, and also to help you strategize on your CIP list. What are you going to improve and stuff? And I know that it was very important to Sam, and now you got John on staff to do that, so it helps focus on the work. It's only $134,000, but it's $134,000 that can be leveraged and used for numerous other improvements. So grants can have that impact.
Thanks, David. So for the sake of time, we'll go to page 9, which is the grants in progress. If you can turn to page 9, we have the California Housing Community Development SB2 grant in progress, the LA County Home for Good Collaborative grant in progress. The third one listed, the Board of State and Community Corrections Youth Reinvestment Act. It's listed as a grant in progress. It was just turned in, so you can move that one to the submitted category. It was submitted for $936,000. So that one is now off the grants in progress list and onto the grants submitted list. We also have the EDA grant that's in progress, and last but not least, because it's very, very important, is the Prop 68 grant, which is due August 5th. That's an $8.5 million award per project for park rehabilitation or building new parks. We're submitting 3, which is really astronomical. I mean, as I said, Mayor and Council, we work with a lot of cities. We don't have any other city that's submitting 3. That's a tribute to your team, Manny and his team, and us working together.
Yeah,
so
if I could say real quick on that one, we're doing 3 not because we're being greedy. We're doing 3 because we feel we can be competitive with 3. Not because we just want to add the number. Sometimes it's best just to go for 1 if you're only competitive with 1. But we took it down from 4 to 3. We're meeting every 2 weeks, and so we feel that these 3 are worth going after. And I think we just added we're going to add a California Natural Resources Agency grant that just was released, and an environmental enhancement mitigation grant for Big Dalton.
Correct. So
that's 2 more.
Correct. David's right on it. So there's 3 more to add to the bottom of your list. You can see this list. We're doing so much. This list is a work in progress. It literally changes today because David met with Eureka this morning, and it's changed. So we want to add the Measure H to this grants in progress. We want to add the RMC grant, which is due July 2019. We want to add the Environmental Enhancement CRNA grant, which will be for $500,000, which is due June 15, 2019. And we want to add the homeless grants that we're working with Eureka on. So there's actually 4, and Manny or David will correct me, but there's actually 4 additional grants. Manny's nodding his head yes.
Yeah.
4 additional grants.
And I want to add, and I keep interrupting Steve, I'm sorry, but
Go ahead.
just to be clear on the Measure H, the City of Baldwin Park was awarded for, I think, 3 grants, actually 4, for Measure H in the implementation grants. There is additional monies available that was, we were apprised by the county and the COG, and we're applying for additional funds. So there's another Measure H grant. So I just want to, if there was any confusion, there's Measure H that we applied for early November. There was now there's more funding available to us. We were notified by the county and by the COG. And so now we're being aggressive and taking advantage of that, and we're funding directly for Baldwin Park. and to enhance what we've already gotten funding for, and also we're working with Baldwin, with South El Monte and El Monte.
Oh,
So
I want to make sure we have time for questions
Yes.
from the mayor and the council.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed working with you. We hope to continue that. Just to summarize in about 30 seconds, we've had 13 grant awards funded so far, total of $1,261,089. That also shows how much California consulting was paid, the ROI, return on investment, the total earned for the city. We've been in contract for 39 months. The 13 grant awards are listed here, and then we have 9 in progress. The 9 in progress are listed on page 9, and then the 3 that I just added. So we're grateful for the opportunity to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity to continue to work with all of you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, and I know we're short on time. I didn't mean to cut David off, but I want to make sure we hear from the council.
All right, sounds good. Councilmembers have any questions?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Quick question. I see a lot of, basically government entity grants. What type of efforts or what are you doing in and around the private or Phil grants?
yeah, we do have, and I sent to staff a list of grants, a grants opportunities list, and that has the way it's divided is that we have the federal, state, and grants, and we actually have it divided by categories. Say it's infrastructure, parks and recreation, human services, economic development. We also include a lot of foundation grants. Okay, the foundation grants, many of them for the cities, is very, in my experience, is sometimes difficult to obtain because we're government. So, but what we do is we could look at those grants, and when we work in partnership with a nonprofit. Okay, but even in governments, we did with the reinvestment, with the youth reinvestment grant. We're working with the nonprofit, the City of Baldwin Park is. So, but sometimes those grants aren't, unless it's like a Weingart or an Annenberg, they're not usually maybe more than 25 or 50. So,
$1,000.
Yeah.
They're smaller.
They're smaller.
But that doesn't mean they aren't good, and that doesn't mean we shouldn't pursue them. So
I take direction, a lot of direction. I make recommendations to staff, but staff gives me some direction.
I appreciate that. So, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No
Again,
problem.
we're just limited on time. So, my quest would be, and slash request, would be for you to also work with the public safety shop here, our police department, to basically have them, to basically develop a wish list, right, of items that they can go search for. You guys can go search for on the equipment side and even on the hiring side. If there's something like another JAG grant that's out there, you're going to hire new police officers or maintainers or something like that, right?
Yeah.
For equipment. And I'll also, point you in the direction of the Target Foundation. Target Foundation is still getting a lot of money, especially in and around public safety, even though they don't
Steve's
have,
taking
even
it.
though they don't have Target Blue, but they still give quite a bit. And then also in and around the homelessness, the Hilton Foundation. Hilton Foundation does give to governments and local cities. I know this for a fact. So if we could work with them or look at least at what their application process is, and of course the timing of that, not to forget about these type of things, because one of the things certainly that helps us for our budget, as you know, is if we could offset some of the equipment costs from our police officers, such as the redundant things that we always have to pay for, which sometimes is grant allowable, flashlights, new computer systems, trainings and so forth that could be offset on that. Because there is a lot of money that I think that's being left on the table for training our public safety officers.
Yeah,
Good suggestion.
I've been in communication with. I've been in communication with the police department. A couple things. With regards to the homeless, I'm very familiar with the Hilton Foundation, and I do believe that once we start implementing the homeless funding that we have, once we're on our road implementing it, then we'll be competitive for the Hilton Foundation, because the Hilton Foundation will look at it as that we're leveraging that funding. So now they know, okay, you got your county money, you got your Measure H money, you're implementing it, and we'll be more competitive, and we'll certainly go to the Hilton Foundation. I'm very familiar with it, and it's a great foundation.
And a great suggestion.
Secondly, with my instructions from the police department is to apply for the cops hiring grant. That hasn't been released yet. There's issues that they're sorting out at DOJ, and but as soon as that's released, we're on top of it. We applied before, we came very close, so now we feel the second time around we can come closer and get it. So that's on the, as soon as as soon as it's released, I know we'll start working that day one. And there's also police technology grants. The DOJ schedule. This DOJ administration, the schedule's been a little different than previous years.
Right, well, they kind of had a stopgap for about 3 months this year.
Yeah.
Or last year, I should say. But yes, not only looking at the DOJ stuff, because that's always going to be available for, but again,
Private
focus,
foundation.
if we could please focus on the private
We
side
will.
for the police. Because private side does tend to enjoy giving the badges, specifically the Annenberg Foundation.
Yes.
Very good suggestion. Walmart, Wells Fargo, Annenberg, California. You know a lot about grants, I can tell. So thank you for your suggestions.
The last one I'll leave you off is also our big Home Depot. Sorry.
Home Depot has a big grant.
They do big grants for local community projects for rehabilitation and so forth. So I understand the stuff that you guys are normally looking for, but if we just expand the pot or expand the view, and I know it's based on time, effort.
I just do want to say that if if I have like a multiple number of projects, like right now, it's unprecedented in terms of state parks, in terms of the number of greening projects and grants available that have been released in the last 4 months. I've never seen this much money being released for parks. But I will just call him, Steve, and say, I need another.
Okay,
staff
we're
member
running
to
out of
work.
time. We're going to stop right there.
And so I'll bring additional staff
All right.
to work with me.
Appreciate that, David. Okay, so at this point,
I'm not going to make the
it's
council
okay.
late. Everyone's going to.
This one we have nothing to report out. Am I correct? Legal
Nothing
counsel?
to report out,
So I'll go ahead and
Mr.
close here. Do I need to go? Can I close it here?
You can close here. Also remember that we will recuse you from item number 8.
Oh, that's right. Once I'm out there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's right. All right. So at this point, I'll go ahead and move for adjournment of the study session. There's my motion.
And the presentation, the first presentation.
Second.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay, is there a second? Is there a second? Second. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, legal counsel.
Sir, real quick. Back here.
Thank you very much. I do. I was going to give you my cell phone.
Thank you.
The mayor